Okay guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It is Jay Ayyo. This is where we turn viral moments into teachable lessons and we get to share a little bit of what's going on in the world events. There's a lot going on, but I'm only specifically paying attention to Antigua and Barbuda. Now, for most of you who don't know, Antigua and Barbuda is a twin Caribbean island on the eastern side of the Caribbean. What is so special about it is that they're going to the polls. And what we've been doing this year has been we've kind of been trotting along, seeing which islands have gone to the polls, been doing some updates, because you don't necessarily know what goes on in the country unless you're trying to keep up with the States or Canada or the UK. But what is super interesting about this is that the Right Honorable Gaston Brown, who's the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, he is the first prime minister to win 3 back-to-back terms. Now, I didn't know this. So, interestingly, we know the Honorable Mayor Amor Motley is in a 3rd term. We know that the Honorable Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, is in a 3rd term. Now, Antigua and Barbuda's Right Honorable Gaston Brown will be going into a 4th term. So I found that to be quite interesting for those of you who are political analysts, political enthusiasts who like to keep up with that sort of thing. What I also found was that the Antigua and Barbuda Labour headed by the Right Honorable Gaston Brown. What's 3 coincidences that the Honorable Mayor Motley heads up the Barbados Labour Party. What's also interesting is that the Dr. Andrew Holness is also heads up the Jamaican Labour Party. So it seems as if there is a quote-unquote labor train energy vibes going on, because what we would quote-unquote say, these parties that were, let's say, I don't want to say liberal. Maybe liberal would probably be the best analogy to put it, but like PNP, I think they're more liberal. For the Democratic Barbados Party, they could probably be seen more liberal. But it seems that the Labour parties tend to be a little bit more conservative in their policies and agendas, their deliverables. They want to look at getting things done. They want to see what they can deliver for the people. And so there is a quote-unquote relative conservatism that is taking up place in the Caribbean. And this seems to be a trend that has been slowly taking on as the electorates become more educated and informed. They're looking at how can we elect a party or a group of individuals that can really bring about what we want, what change we want, what we want to see things improve. We don't want to be the same run-of-the-mill sort of thing. So there are 30 seats, or rather 17 seats, in the House of Parliament in Antigua and Barbuda. I think there are 30 constituencies, but I may have to double check that. But nonetheless, we have the United Progressive Party, which is headed up by Jamali Pringle, and we have the Barbuda People's Movement, which is headed up by Trevor Walker. Now, as it stands with political parties or candidacies or running, it's first past the post, which is coming from the Westminster system of parliamentary democracy. Winner takes all. The party that gets to the finish line or commands the majority of vote is the one that gets, we would say, quote unquote bragging rights. Now, the Right Honorable Brown had stated that there would be an election called within the next 90 days. Now, from how it really stands, is pretty much Parliament would have to get dissolved, and immediately after Parliament is dissolved, or rather a date is called, Parliament would have to be dissolved, and then this is where the 6-week canvassing and campaigning goes on. Not everyone knows the intricacies and I don't want to use the word nitty-gritty, but the particulars. So when you're canvassing, you have to get all your voters list. You have to go to the people. You have to say, well, why you should choose me, or why you should choose my party, what we can do for you. So it really is what I would say, an interesting it's a really interesting game, because if you come to me and say, oh, hey, vote for Jay Ayyo because I'm going to do this, if you leave my door, there is no guarantee that you are going, or that person is going to vote for you. However, what has been the thing that political parties do is that they drum up support from their grassroots base, where, okay, we say Jay Ayyo's family has always been with the Barbudas Labour, or with the Labour Party, and their children been with that Labour Party, and so they kind of do certain things to get around it, if I could use that word or analogy or example. And they would say, okay, we're gonna get the older people to the voting station. Now, what a lot of people don't know, when it comes to voting, the vast majority of people who vote tends to be older people who are above 50, people who are more inclined and more aware about the needs that they want, that they have, and that they want to see fixed. And so when young people kind of like, oh, I'm not seeing any change, but are young people voting in as how older people are? And you will have political candidates that will say, oh, I'll drive you to the polling station, I'll get a bus. If you get a bus for 100 old people, all those old people going to vote for the person that brought them in the bus. So when you look at the psychology of politics, it really is an interesting game. It's an interesting mechanism, system. It's not easily understood if you don't know the rules to politics and how it goes, and things of that nature, and garnering favor. So we do expect the Right Honorable Prime Minister Gaston Brown to call the election in some time in the near future. He has activated candidates to start canvassing, look at their voter registration, those that get re-registered. The important thing, and depending on how that jurisdiction works, as in some cases, if you're not registered on the list, you can't vote. But more importantly, if you are not registered before a certain time frame, you can't be entered into vote. So that's why this huge effort of canvassing for votes is really important, getting people registered to vote, and more importantly, getting young people registered to vote, because you have to be aware and find certain information. You have to look it up. No one's going to come and tell you where to go or where to find this information. You have to take ownership and responsibility as a young person to be informed and to be aware, because to not be informed is to be disadvantaged. That is my honest view. I am going to let you all know when the date has been called, but I will look at probably doing a live stream when on polling night for Barbados. It did bring a lot of informative sessions, and people liked it, so I'm really grateful for that support. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video.